Beautiful.
Very nice. Hello, Mike Bradley. I hope you're doing well as always. And I'm not in my room. I've got an obtuse person next to me right now. It's Andy Guitar.
Hello. How are you doing, Mike? You alright?
Very good. Thanks for having me in your lovely home, my friend. Thank you. So I'm hanging out with Andy. And actually, the reason we're hanging out, I'm going to say straight away, is that we are doing a clinic together.
Yeah.
Not for one day, not for 2, 3 days.
3 days.
It's going to be in sunny Brighton. Well, I say sunny Brighton. It'll be in the autumn time. So it'll be in rainy Brighton.
Perfect. Staying inside,
yeah.
jamming guitar.
It'll be back to wearing coats and scarves and all that kind of stuff. But all the links will be in the description box below. It's been really cool. We're gonna be hanging out. It'll be if you know your open chords and bar chords and kind of got a little bit of lead playing going.
Yeah, early intermediate is
that's what I say. Early intermediate, and you're thinking, what the hell can I do now? Because there's especially as YouTuber, you're learning from that. It's just. If you know the major scale and people then type in Phrygian dominant or something like that, it's like, whoa, hang on, hold your horses. So if you're a bit perplexed what you want to do next, this would be the clinic for you kind of thing. So all the links will be in the description box below. Just wanted to quickly mention that because I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend. But as we had each other in our company, if that's even a good sentence to say, we wanted to talk about the power of open strings.
Yeah.
With your chords, because again, we do, don't you? It's like, okay, I've got bar chords, and you learn all these big stretches and things like that. But sometimes getting an E chord, and which is slightly out of tune, we're tune up in 2 seconds.
Tuning.
And taking that same shape and just moving it about, it's like, oh my God. You get some really cool sounds of it. I'm going to quickly tune this guitar and we'll be right back. We are in tune. It's always good to be in tune.
Lesson 1.
Lesson 1 by a tuner. But so yeah, like I was saying, having those, you've got your E chord and the power of just getting, especially if you're just kind of starting out on the guitar. Well, I say starting out.
Especially if when you first learn guitar, you're learning a lot of individual chord shapes, and there's very little similarity between any of them. It's like everything's new when you're a beginner, right? But part of what we want to do at this workshop is show how much you can do with what you currently know just by building on a couple of those things. And one of the things, as you've done there, is just moving open chords, the same shape, but sliding it around the neck. And what I was doing in the demo that we were playing earlier is just sliding an E chord, but using fingers 2, 3, and 4, and sliding that up to certain points on the neck where we can play more open chords that would otherwise, require bar chords, and it's still the same shape, so there's still a use to, and it's still an essential skill to learn bar chords, but it's not the finishing point, I think is the important thing.
It's a different tonal sound, isn't it? From doing an A bar chord, like so, to letting those open.
Especially with a pick as well. I think there's definitely an aggression to kind of bar chords with a pick, and it kind of gets mellowed out. Yeah,
very floaty.
And ringing.
Yeah.
And the chords that we're playing there, or that I was playing there, are all in the key of E, which is another thing we're going to be going through in these workshops, because musical keys seem to be in that music theory world that guitarists don't really like, and we want to make it really practical, as kind of like, here's some song examples, here's what these songs are using, here's the skill that you need. And frankly, there aren't that many. I would argue there's around 5 keys that if you know those as well as is reasonable, you can play in any key because you know all the core things. And there's many tricks that we can show you there, but the ones that apply to E are certainly just essentially knowing your major scale on one string. So that would be from the open string to the 2nd fret, 4th fret, next 2 dots, so the 5th and the 7th, another dot as well, 11th fret, and then the 12th fret. Those notes not only become the notes of the melody that you can play, and you were using some of those notes when you were playing lead guitar before, it's also the notes that become the root notes of every chord that you would be playing in that song. And a way you can do that with bar chords, the traditional way, is like this. And a way you can do that with these luscious and glorious open strings is like that, and you don't have to bar at all. And even a lot of songs that use this kind of thing, like High and Dry by Radiohead.
Yeah, of course,
one of my favourites, with the F sharp minor, A sus2 and E. All the way through, you've got the thinnest 2 strings ringing out on the rhythm part, on the chords.
Nice drone to it, isn't it?
But also on the lead part as well, which is actually played on electric guitar, and our workshop's going to be covering electric and acoustic
yeah.
totally evenly. Just as an example, it's got it ringing out, which has a lot more power, especially on acoustic, than just... That's the downside of acoustic lead guitar, right?
Yeah.
Just one note hanging there. It's like, I don't want to play the next one.
But having that open string, but even the blues guys, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know, having all that... Yeah, having all those
pair of notes.
Having open strings ring. No, Prince did it in... Sometimes It Rains in April, I think it's called. So he's got his E, then he's going to a good F sharp, and if you've seen a video on Andy's channel about F sharp, you know we like F sharp. But instead of doing a full-on F sharp major bar chord, he's just, you know, lifting his first finger up. And he's got that nice open ring into it.
This is it, because
an A sus.
Otherwise bar chords don't actually have any more colour to them as well. You can go E, F, F sharp, G. Yes, I'm now playing all the chords that are available, but none of them sound any different other than going higher or lower.
Yeah.
Whereas this has so many more textures and doesn't always work.
Yeah. Very Spanishy, that one, isn't it?
That is the Spanish chord.
Dale, you know.
That is very much
all that stuff, you know.
But a lot of those tricks as well are key specific.
Yes.
So everything that we've covered there is in the key of E, which if we're in the key of C, this... it's not going to sound kind of right.
Yeah.
So play a C chord for me. Let's just demo how not to do this. And therefore, it's like when you know the key of a song and you know what works in the key, it's like you've got the roadmap to a whole bunch of things that you know will work.
Yeah.
All the safe stuff and other stuff that you can try to make it sound more interesting. Different musical key or a different genre, totally different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like you've got a different roadmap for that key. On guitar more than most instruments.
Yeah.
Because it's tuned a certain way. Certain notes ring out or play a certain way. We have certain open strings at certain points and not at others. So just one of those examples, really.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the power of the open string is a powerful thing. You know,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, as Andy was just saying, you know, if you know your theory is a bit lower on it, there's nothing wrong with just experimenting. I mean, if you get a C and think, oh, if I move up a fret, it's going to sound hideous. But if you get a C and move up 2 frets, it's going to sound really, really nice, you know. But then, of course, coming to our clinic, you understand why that does work. Plug. But it's no. I remember being a kid, just experimenting all the time. Because I'm always someone of who. Why does that work? Why that? What can I do with that? You know. And
exactly.
Like
you might encounter some of these things when you learn a song, or when someone shows it you, or you see it at a gig or something. But then we want to show you what else you can do with that, because that's just one step along from the basic chords. Basically,
yeah,
there are a lot more steps that aren't even harder. And it all really comes down to just the musical situation. What would work for this jam in the key of E when we're going for a nice relaxed vibe? Well, you've got a lot of these things and sort of all that other stuff, you've got to think that's not applicable for here. And we want to give you that. I want to give you that instinct to know that, as soon as possible. That would be some of my goals for this workshop, as well as learning a few songs and meeting some people who are all like-minded.
Oh man, that's the main thing, isn't it? It's the hanging out with other guitar players, geeking out.
Absolutely.
What strings do you use? What picks do you use? And what guitar should I buy next? All of them. Buy all of them. Already checking out his tasty Strat he's got here, what you just bought. So, but no, it's going to be a good time. But more importantly, hopefully this has helped and given you some ideas and, kind of makes you want to experiment a little bit with open strings, with your chords, with your lead playing as well, and also, like I say, if you are UK based and you can make it to Brighton in October, November. It'll be around autumn time. Or like I say, it'll be on the links will be in the description box below. But it'd be cool to, hang out with us too, and we'll be making noise and probably destroying your mind with far too much information.
We'll try not to. We'll try and make sure you guys are playing at least as much as others, if not more. That's the idea. We'll
Absolutely.
Make it super practical and lots of jamming and lots of good times.
No, it'd be really cool. Very much looking forward to it. And I'll see you in your
You will do. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for inviting me to your place, man. And open strings. The power of the open string. Anyway, I've been Mike Bradley. Check out Andy's. If you haven't subscribed to Andy's channel, where the hell have you been? He's the main guy on YouTube. But I'll put a link to Andy's channel in the description box below. And check it out, subscribe, check out all his lessons. And I'll see you very, very soon. I've been Mike Bradley. You've been Andy. I'll see you soon. Bye! You weren't expecting that. Oh, that is how the video ends. I promise you, that is exactly how it's going.